This lesson is all about second UV channel on objects. Its primary use to adjust paint skin on truck models. The side skirt from previous lesson has no paint skin. I'll show you the small example to make things clear. Consider this flat surface is the back side of the cabin. It will use main texture with shading and details, so I pick original truck paint material, and assign it to scene selection. The surface has initial UV mapping, but it's wrong. I create new mapping projection in front viewport. Then I adjust the mapping layout, so it uses the proper area of the main texture. Since only one half of the backside is available on texture, I mirror mapping vertices. The mapping of main texture is complete. However, the object is too bright. I enable diffuse color in its properties. I select all vertices of an object, pick Paint tool, specify gray color, and press Fill selected. Open Materials browser to set up paint skin on truck paint material. By default, an empty texture is assigned on second detail layer. I load original skin number 10 and assign it as second detail. Its level should be 0, so it will not appear as is on material. The mapping source must be second UV channel. Original material has pre-configured options for painting effect. They are as follows: the diffuse number 2 has full level, and it's masked by second detail's blue channel. Diffuse number 3 is masked by second detail's green channel. I change its color to bright, so it's clearly seen. Same for diffuse number 4, bright blue color, masked by second detail's red channel. And change color of second diffuse to bright yellow. The truck cabin shows the paint. It has colors I've specified: yellow, blue, and violet. Assume I need to add paint onto the surface, and I want this central fragment to be shown there. First of all, the properties of my object should contain at least 2 UV channels in vertex format. Then I generate new UV mapping for the second UV channel. I use front projection as before, but make sure to specify second UV channel. Open UV Mapper, pick material and make sure it will display mapping for second UV channel. Adjust mapping to occupy proper area on texture. As you see in the right view, the main texture stays on its place, while paint texture mapping is adjusted. That's the main idea behind 2 UV mapping channels and their usage for truck paint. Hope it's all clear on the subject. Let's create paint for the side skirt. Ensure it has 2 UV channels in vertex format. In order to paint truck properly, a pattern with layout is available in game. It's located in Paintjob folder as matching pattern texture file. It has truck wireframe unwrap layout that you should follow when mapping: left side of the cabin, back side, right side. And here are the side skirt, the left one, and the right one. I load matching pattern onto skin paint material into second detail layer. Set its level to full. I'll use it for creating mapping only. Since no second mapping is yet available on a side skirt, the side skirt shows wrong texture colors on it. I select the left skirt panel, open left viewport. I toggle off automatic selector and right-click in left viewport to pick options for selected object. Pick Edit UV, and create new mapping. For second UV channel, in continuous mesh surface mode. Then adjust layout of the left skirt panel, so it lays on a proper area. The small tapered fragment on the left belongs to the skirt of the cabin. I rescale the object to match in height. It's not very important that it does not match in width on the pattern. Then I create mapping for the right side panel. It uses a neighbor area on the matching pattern. But overall mapping is all the same. Prior to export the model, I have to change second detail layer back to empty texture, and reduce its level down to 0. Export and test in-game. The skirt is painted now. You can see its reflection level is stronger than the rest. It can be fixed by copying the level of environment reflection from original material, which is 19, onto skirt paint material. Set 19 here too. Try it in game. Not perfect, but much better. The reflection level is also reduced by specularity level, which is taken from textures alpha. Since my side skirt has no alpha, the full strength is used. This can be adjusted by painting the ambient occlusion textures alpha by hand, if needed. Okay. The only things left to discuss here is the light mask. The skirt has 4 light flares, 2 on each side. I use white flare on the front and orange on the rear lamp, and would like the mask texture to do the same. First of all, change diffuse color to gray, so it does not affect. Ensure proper light mask texture is loaded for the second detail layer. It should use the second UV channel, and have to wrap on new and V. The game reads alpha pixels intensity for the idle lights, so when lights are turned on, the intensity of alpha pixels of light mask produce additional color luminosity on an object. There are many kinds of luminosity to show, while there are only 4 channels on light mask. To solve the problem, the layout square index is used. I'll explain it on the rear pair of idle lights. Idle lights could shine white in front of truck, red on rear part of truck, and they are orange on sides. The alpha channel specifies the color intensity only, but which color will be used by the game. The game will consider the first texture square as the front left light, and will use white color if you leave UV mapping here. So it does with the second square, which is on the right to the texture. It's considered as front right light, and the white color is still used. The third and fourth squares are rear left and rear right lights, and the red idle light will be used. Finally, the fifth square is the rest, and orange idle light color is used. Once mapping is adjusted, I toggle horizontal axis constraint. The mapping is on first square at the moment, and I want it to be in the fifth square, so the orange color is used. Pick the move tool, start dragging the object and press tab key. The input box will appear. Type 4, to move 4 squares to the right. The mapping is here now. I'll show you the texture squares, so you can ensure the fifth square is used in mapping is still correct. Here it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I do the same with the front lights. But I put them into second square, so they will have white luminosity color in game. Here's the first square, and the second. Let's check them in game. Lights are off, and they look the same. I turn the lights, and I can't say whether it works or not, since colored flare effect shines too bright over them. I select all 4 flare effects and move them up. Thus, the effect will show above, and we shall clearly see the light mask in action. Here we are. Turn on the lights. Yes, the front light is white, and the rear is orange. Of course you can play a little with mapping, so not an entire light object has luminosity, but only a small inner part. You can also mess with intensity of pixels on Lightmask texture. This could make effects look better. It's all up to you. That's all for now.